there, my name's Andy Young and I'm one of the lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland, New Zealand. And this is one of my basic skills videos, and this video very quickly covers using a torque wrench. Now, a torque wrench is used to get a bolt to a specific tightness. For example, if you over tighten a bolt, it can stretch the bolt and it can also damage the threads as well in the component as well as on the bolt, and even bolts can snap. If you under tighten a bolt, then sure enough it could come loose. In the case of a head gasket, if you over tighten the bolt, it can over squash the gasket, it can damage the gasket, and then when the engine heats up, of course through thermal expansion, the gasket gets squashed even more and even further damaged. If you don't tighten the bolt up on a head, or the bolts up on a holding a head down that's clamping a head gasket sufficiently, then of course that head gasket could fail, it could leak. So you're getting combustion pressures leaking through into the coolant, for example. So the use of a torque wrench is really important. It's fundamental to performing a wide range of mechanical tasks in a workshop. Even putting a wheel back on, those wheel nuts should be torqued to within a specific specification. Too loose and they could come off. Too tight and you risk snapping a wheel stud. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to use a torque wrench, and the most important factor is, of course, there's a scale on here. Now, torque is measured by using a number of different scales around the world, and I tend to prefer Newton meters as my scale, but we've also got on here foot pounds, and there's a few other ones out there as well. And possibly you're going to get a torque setting as a specification that's not in the scale you've got on your torque wrench. So what you'll need to do is drop onto Google, find one of those calculators, conversion calculators, and convert it across into a scale you do have on your torque wrench. Now, once you've got the specified torque, and you should really aim for the midpoint of the spec. For example, if you had a torque setting of between 45 and 50 Newton meters, then really you should set your torque wrench to 47.5, because you've got to allow for a little bit of out of calibration on your torque wrench. They do go out of calibration over time. If you always remember to back off the actual scale back to 0 as soon as you finish using it, that will help to keep your torque wrench nearer to or within calibration. If you forget to do that and you put it back in your toolbox with it cranked up to say 50 Newton meters, then you can pretty much guarantee that when you come to reuse that torque wrench next time round, it's not going to be giving you the torque that it says on the scale. So let's use a spec, 45 to 50 Newton meters. If we find that on the scale, this is going to be really, really, really hard. There we are, much better. Okay, so you can see on the scale, the red line is the indicator line, and we're currently in the parked position. Now, if I crank that handle around, you can see it's starting to raise up the scale. Now, this particular torque wrench can't do below 20 Newton meters. That's its minimum. And if we want to do a torque of say 10 Newton meters, then we'd need to use a smaller torque wrench. So as we keep turning that handle round, we're going to get up to 30 Newton meters. Very simple. And we keep going. Sorry, I can't hold it any stiller. 40, 44, 45, 46, 47, and about 47.5 Newton meters. Okay, so now we've got the torque we want, we can lock it down. So that's now locked, because when you use a torque wrench you tend to move the handle around a bit as you're using it, and we've already got a socket on there ready to go. Okay, so we're going to head across now to, let's go and find a vehicle, and we'll just tighten up one of the wheel nuts. Okay, so we've got a slack wheel stud just here, look, and we're going to tighten that up using the torque wrench. And as we tighten it up, just listen out for a click, and that's going to indicate to us that we're at the correct torque. There you go. So that's the click that we want. Now don't be tempted to push it anymore. That's at torque, that's at the 47.5. Now just to prove, well, just to give you an idea, if we take it off lock now and we crank it up to, let's say, 65, which is far more likely for this kind of trailer stud, lock it off, put it back on the same wheel nut, you'll find it'll turn further before it clicks. There you go. So it wasn't a great deal, a few more degrees, but now we're at 65 Newton meters. So it really is that simple. As soon as you've finished using the torque wrench though, do remember to take off that lock and back it right back to 0. That's very, very important. Because if you don't, the spring inside your torque wrench is going to get stretched. And it's going to go out of calibration. So make sure you're on the stop, and you'll see there, look, back into the park position. Okay, so that's how to use a torque wrench. And you know, earlier on I said to you that this one won't do below 20 Newton meters. I'm not actually sure what the maximum is. I think it's about 85, 90, maybe 100 on that one. But if you need to go lower, then you're going to need to, or lower than 20 Newton meters, you're going to need to get a smaller torque wrench. And this one goes, oh golly, it starts at 4.5 Newton meters. That's nothing. And this one goes up to just over 28 Newton meters. So there's an overlap between the two, which is great. It's what you want. But you know, sometimes you might need a bigger torque wrench. Don't guess. It's really important things that are done correctly. Once you start stretching bolts and twisting casings and that kind of thing, you can get oil leaks and all sorts of stuff. You're just adding to problems, not helping yourself. And you do need a torque wrench, so you know, get saving up, get yourself a torque wrench bought. Okay, there you go. Easy video. My name is Andy Young. I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland. If you have any questions or comments on torque wrenches or on this video, then just leave them below in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you found this video helpful, then why not subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get some notifications come through whenever any new videos get uploaded. Well, thanks for watching. My name, like I said before, is Andy Young, and cheers for now. Over and out.